Stop. Don't click later. It's not your fault you don't want to start. It's a specific biological bug in your brain. Right now, I'll show it to you and give you a trivial solution. I promise, in 9 minutes, you won't be able not to start. So, let's bust a huge myth. The myth is that to start something, you need motivation, you need inspiration, you need to be in the right mood. But the reality, according to neuroscience, is very different. Your brain is designed to conserve energy. Any new complex task is seen as a threat, a massive expenditure of resources. Its direct duty, its prime directive, is to sabotage the start. So the solution isn't to fight your brain. The solution is to trick your subconscious. You don't need to start the project. Instead, you just need to do one of these 3 strange, almost silly actions. Here's the extremely simple instruction, the cold start method. You only need to pick one of these 3 steps. Step 1. Open the document. Place the cursor. Write anything. It doesn't matter what. You can literally write, I don't know what to write, or this is so dumb. The goal is just to break the blank page. That's it. 1 minute. Step 2. Open a timer on your phone for 5 minutes. For those 5 minutes, you are only allowed to look at the task. That's it. Do nothing else. Don't work on it. Don't plan it. Just stare at it. Let your brain get used to the idea. Let it see that this task isn't some monster hiding in the closet. It's just a document, a spreadsheet, a piece of code. Step 3. This one is my favorite. Do the nastiest, most disgusting part of the task, but do it intentionally, badly, on purpose. Write the worst possible first paragraph. Create the ugliest slide in the presentation. Sketch the most ridiculous design. This completely removes the pressure of perfection, which is often the biggest thing holding us back. Choose one. Just one. Do it right now if you can. So why does this weird little trick work? What's the science behind it? It's all about how our brain is wired. When you face a big, undefined task like write a book or launch a business, your brain's fear center, the amygdala, lights up. It perceives a threat. The threat of failure, the threat of judgment, the threat of spending a ton of energy with no guaranteed reward. This fear response is what we call procrastination. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning and decision making, gets hijacked. It starts looking for easier, more immediately rewarding things to do, like scrolling social media or watching another video. But when you take a tiny, non-threatening micro step, you bypass this fear response entirely. Opening a document and writing, I don't know what to write, is not scary. Your brain sees it as a trivial action. Staring at a task for 5 minutes isn't scary. Doing something intentionally poorly isn't scary. In fact, it's kind of fun. What you're doing is signaling to your brain, hey, this is safe. This isn't a threat. This tiny action is the key that unlocks the door. Once the door is open, it's much easier to walk through. This is related to something called the Zeigarnik effect, which is our brain's tendency to remember unfinished tasks better than finished ones. Once you've written that one bad sentence, your brain now has an open loop. It will start nagging you to continue, to fix it, to make it better. You've successfully tricked it into starting the engine. There's also a powerful psychological principle at play. We often think that motivation comes first, and then action follows, but very often it's the other way around. Action creates motivation. You don't feel like going to the gym, but once you're there and you start your first set, you suddenly find the energy to continue. The same applies here. The act of starting, no matter how small, generates its own momentum. Think about the 17-minute technique that some productivity experts talk about. It's based on the idea that our focus naturally cycles. When you force yourself to just be with the task for a few minutes without pressure, you're allowing your brain's natural focus cycle to kick in. You're not fighting the current, you're gently guiding the boat into it. These 3 steps are just hyper-condensed versions of this principle. They are the smallest possible actions that can trigger a state of focus and flow. You are essentially telling your brain, we're not climbing Mount Everest, we're just putting on our shoes. And once the shoes are on, well, taking that first step outside feels a lot more manageable. I want to share something personal. I procrastinated on creating this very channel for 8 months. That's 240 days. Every single day my plan was start YouTube channel. And every day I would open a document, stare at the blank page, feel overwhelmed by the sheer scale of it, and then close it. The fear was paralyzing. What would I talk about? Who would listen? What if I failed? It was a mountain I couldn't even begin to climb. The cycle was broken on a random Tuesday. I was fed up. I opened the document, and instead of trying to write a perfect script, I just typed 2 words in the title field. Hello world. That was it. I closed the document, but something had changed. The next day, I opened it again, and those 2 words were there, waiting. It wasn't a scary blank page anymore. It was a file named Hello World. I added 1 more sentence, then a paragraph. I had tricked my brain. I had shown it that it wasn't scary. That single, tiny, almost meaningless action was the starting point for everything you see today. 8 months of procrastination, defeated by 2 words. Now imagine this, the project you're putting off, the one that's been causing that knot in your stomach. Imagine it's already finished. You're looking at the final result, and you don't even understand what you were so afraid of. That heavy weight is gone, replaced by a feeling of lightness and accomplishment. This isn't a fantasy for someday. This is possible today, right now. It all starts with one strange, trivial action. So here is your action now. First, pause this video. Second, open your project. Third, do one of the 3 steps we talked about. Write 1 bad sentence. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Or do a tiny piece of it intentionally badly. Do it on your phone if you have to. Then come back here and write in the comments. Step 1, Step 2, or Step 3. It's so important for us and for everyone else here to see what works. Let's create a movement. Subscribe and watch as thousands of people just like you overcome this exact same barrier today. Thanks for watching.